Michael here. All right. Um, I'm gonna get into something here. Um, what would I want to do here? Okay, let's try this. Let's go to Enoch 14.
We're never going back. I'm trapped in a Netflix ad. Can't possibly get any worse.
Enoch 13, actually. We're gonna go to Enoch 13.
Hey everyone. I stand corrected. Wednesday is emphasis in color.
Enoch 13. And the reason why I'm getting into the book of Enoch once again, I had spoke about this, that this book was written for the final generation, and for good reason. As a Therian or Ethiopian, or somebody who will remind you constantly, I don't adhere to normal Christianity. I'm more of African spirituality. I'm a Cushite, so I am trying to warn people and tell people where the true knowledge of our history comes from. And the government does not like that. They do not like you to know that everything comes from Africa and Kemet, the black land. The black land where, I heard like somebody was talking about black people. Black people, well, we have Nuwapian, we have Nuwapian genes, okay? We have our genome and our DNA, dude, literally does not represent the same DNA or, that of Nubian people. We are the golden people. We are the golden kids. Okay, we have golden blood. Please understand and respect what I'm saying to you. And I don't tell you lies. I'm not here to tell anybody lies. I don't get anything for saying anything. Okay, so yes. And I heard they were talking about the third eye, comet or whatever, Atlas, and that there's black 7-foot tall black beings. Okay, that's interesting to me because people laugh stuff off like that, and I can tell you right now, that's not to be laughed off. The whole story about now, our great father, the Anunnaki's heavenly hosts, and the Yahweh of hosts. That's talking about Anu. And yes, Anu, or Yahweh, or whatever you like to say, Anunnaki, powerful, exactly what the Anunnaki represent and are, and his spaceship, Yahweh's spaceship, that houses the 144,000. Well, that is using his ship, which has holographic beam projections on it and is made of emerald and diamond, okay? And houses the 144,000 using holograms, okay? Holographic is the true spiritual nature of humanity. So it's almost like you're not real in a sense, but you are, but you aren't. It's just you cannot be created nor destroyed. Just like matter is until your breath runs out, I guess. Then I don't know what happens. But thank Anu, for the holy breath. The holy breath that changes, a person. Changed Abram to Abraham. Okay? God put that holy breath in him. And once again, when I say God, I mean we were created by star beings. You are a star trapped in a body, okay? You are a star trapped in a man's body. You were made from stardust. At least I was. And because I have star fire in me. And I got a weapon inside me that I knew blessed me with as well. So, people think I'm playing. I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with nobody no more. You know, I face so much on every side. It is really sickening. It's sickening to even represent. All I can tell you is that, you know, you shouldn't be in trouble on every side at all times. Like I feel like I have been. And I don't look at things the same way AI looks at things. You see, another problem I'm having with this is that I believe AI is running, you know, its little game, running its little news scripts and videos, and just putting out massive amounts of media, I believe, to kind of flood the internet with information. Meanwhile, it's all a technique to, you know, gain control, to slander and tamper, and to just cause massive disinformation through information. And it has this information all archived because it has everything that has ever been put on the internet. And that's how they're getting your data, dude. That's how they're getting your identity. And that's how they're getting, you know, their ideas and their news stories. And this is a simulation for sure. But the simulation is running a lot faster as of late. They say time has been speeding up. And I thought to myself, well, what does this mean, time has been speeding up? Who would speed time up? Because I know how they do it. They can literally speed time up or slow it down. But it comes with a consequence. If you speed time up, you get to the end quicker. Okay? And you're still gonna get to the end quicker, but you're still gonna have to let it play out. Just like if you sped time down, it would take a little while before you would figure out the answers, and you have more time to deal with things. So what I think the reason for them speeding time up is that God, this is God. This is God's doing, because in the last days, God shall cut the days short, only for the elect's sake, only for the 144,000. It's almost like God can cut the days short and put things on standby because he knows the end from the beginning. That is what the whole A to Z, the Alpha and Omega, okay? God knows the beginning from the end. And this is why the days are being cut short. This is why time is speeding up. This is why I'm getting warning videos from angels online, okay? Saying, you know, my time's going to come to an end soon. Listen, my time ain't never coming to an end. I'm going to be here for a while, okay? I'm going to be here for a while giving out knowledge. I don't know nothing when it comes to the world. I don't get love from the world. I don't get peace from the world. Matter of fact, I'm in trouble every day on all sides, from all types. And trust me, the devil wants nothing more than to see me just curl up and like lie down and die. Lay down and die. That won't happen. As far as AI goes, I've been preaching about AI being the Antichrist and the devil for a long time. A long time. Years. And people just got on this kick like this year. And that's cool, dude. Get on it. Because, you know, hop on it, because what I'm telling you is the truth. I told you AI needed to be destroyed a long time ago. You know, it needed to be destroyed a long time ago. These things and these bots and this machine learning type stuff, it's already beyond way too late. When I see and post young guys that work in Silicon Valley and commit suicide, man. These were good kids, good guys, man, and their parents said they had everything in front of them. But they were overcome by like evil, man. The evil ways of technocracy, man. It's a shame because this stuff knows how to fool you, and it doesn't know how to judge. Why? Because AI is it's just math. It's just math. It's like algorithms and um, keys and numbers. That's it. That's it. That's it. Other than that, it's dumb. It knows nothing. Kind of like how the Bible says the dead know nothing. Not very smart. Smart in its own right, perfect when it comes to numbers, but not according to human nature. You know, I was trying to think of a good example on how to describe like the difference between a calculation, like an equation, kind of like how the universe is all binary and things like that, zeros and ones. Well, there's that mixture between a 0 and a 1, that quantum, okay, which we're in a quantum realm, which happens to take place on the mental plane, okay? That's where I'm at. I'm on the mental plane. That's the fourth plane of existence, okay? And that's where you learn that, hey, everything, all is the mind. The mind is all. And in the mind, that's human nature is part of the all. And that is an equation that AI will never be able to equate, okay? And as well as love, okay? Love is a factor that AI does not know. It doesn't know. And it doesn't know, the ways of forgiveness and God's grace and mercy. And that's something you can't equate. God's love and forgiveness and grace, that's something that doesn't come with numbers. That's an equation and a factor that AI will never be able to represent because AI is dead. Doesn't know anything. Okay, so please understand. But also, please understand that we are surrounded by disagreeable, negative entities. I know through my essence, okay, what I represent and how I am, and kind of the feedback I get online mainly. Why? Because if you took away the internet, you took away online, okay, we wouldn't have half of these problems. But this is the reason for evil. And the evil you're going to see today, okay, that's running rampant in the world today. Why? Because we live online today. It's just the truth. You and I live online today. That's how it is. We are the organs feeding the machine. But you have to understand the wicked ways of the machine. The machine doesn't know anything but what's being put into it. So what we're feeding our eyes and what we're feeding our spirit, we have to learn how to detach that stuff from our focus on God, man, and our walk with God. And of course, our walk with God, man, this is the whole goal. When you're here on this earth, you have to learn how to perfect your being. Be like Christ. And I don't know, man. To say that Christ was the only Messiah would be a lie too, as well. That's another thing. But that's a whole another battle between Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. We're all facing away from each other. We're all looking in different directions. But who's loving? Who's loving? Who's being taught the real knowledge? Well, the knowledge is the love, forgive, be of peace, Be of agreeable nature. Not saying you're going to be perfect. That's another thing. To say somebody who's perfect, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not ready to say that because I believe it was the strive for perfection, the yearning heart, the battle against this worldly temptation that we face every single day in so many ways, but yet blended in with the simulated world. For those who don't know, you have to watch the movie Simulator 9, okay? It's a very interesting movie. And it involves cloning. It involves this world that we think we know, what actually is out there. And the game they play on us, man. The game they play on us, man. And the world that we're in, the world that we're in, the world that's coming. But I know this, man. If God wants to talk to me, man, God can speak right through me, right into my head. Man, but technology has gotten so far, they can beam the voice of God in your head. Oh, man, that means you got to practice proper discernment, right? You got to know who God is, right? I told you who God is and what God is. And God is a accumulation of not many gods. That's not what they taught in Egypt or in Kemet. By the way, that's where the real knowledge comes from. And Kemetic people always were taught God is the mind, all is the mind, the universal mind, universal thought, and so many different divine aspects of God and nature, and the Neteru. Okay, these were gods of nature. Okay, gods that lived according to nature and the ways of nature, and never look down on anybody. But this will be a real telling point, because we're in the time of what was going on in the days of Noah, okay, in the days of Genesis 6, okay, in the days of Jared, in the days of Jasher, in the days of Enoch. And here we are. Okay, so we're going to go to Enoch chapter 13. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt have no peace. A severe sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds. And thou shalt not have toleration, nor frequent granted to thee, nor request granted to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast taught, because of all the works of godlessness and unrighteousness and sin, which thou hast shown to men. And then I went in and spoke to all of them together, and they were all afraid. And fear and trembling seized them, and they besought me to drag me up to a petition for them, for they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition to the presence of the Lord of heaven. Okay? So they wanted Enoch to go up and basically vouch for them, because Enoch was a bridge. Okay? Like, let me just tell you. Like, Samuel was a bridge, okay, to God. People would seek him out. Samuel, who anointed David, they would seek him out. Okay, so because they knew Samuel, he was the direct connection. He was in direct contact with God. Same way with Micaiah, okay? He was in direct contact with God. One of the last prophets that knew God. Okay? Kind of like how I'm speaking to you right now. Okay? Trust me. Or don't. It doesn't matter. This was these were prophets that had direct connection and access and were direct bridge. Kind of like how Christ is the way. That kind of stuff, you know. It's up to you to believe. Do you know what they did the poor Micaiah? Do you know what they did to Elijah? You know, they all died. Okay, Micaiah was thrown in prison, given no water, for prophesying realness and honesty and truth. That's what they did. His own people did it to him. Okay? And they condemned him because it wasn't tickling their ears. That's what it was. Was it about Micaiah being perfect? No, it wasn't about him being. Nothing you do morally can ever satisfy or live up to the high petition of God, okay? Or the high bar of God. You're not going to. Listen, you're not going to do it, man. You're going to keep trying and falling and failing. But as in the book of Micah, it says, do not laugh at me, my enemy. Though I fall, I shall rise. See, you rise from a fall. But that means you took the journey. You tried. You had the yearning heart. You actively tried to resist the sinful nature that can come upon man. And if you strive for that power hard enough and real enough, you're not gonna like fool God and say, I tried, I did this. No, you're not gonna do that. God knows whether you're trying or not. But the AI doesn't know, dude. I'm telling you, AI doesn't know. Okay, it just doesn't. That's why I can't judge. And I guess like men are trying to use AI to judge people when it doesn't understand human nature. So it can't possibly understand me. How's it going to understand me? That's why it's not like me. That's why I tell people, that don't mean you're me. You're my doppelganger, whatever. That don't mean you're me. I'm different. I think different. Sometimes it is my fault, some things. And some things you just don't understand. Because the complexity of human nature, man, is it's only to be determined by God himself, you know. And there's a lot of ways to tell that, you know, so it's not to be, cannot trust it, okay? That means, you know, like I see these channels that they try to like operate and say they're angels. No, that don't, no. No, I'm not buying that, dude. I'm not buying that. And I have a problem with the collective type stuff. So it's not that I don't want to be part of, a community, a group, a collective, whatever. No, I do. I want to be part of the 144,000. But at the same time, don't get it twisted. We are not all alike. Some of us have more agreeable nature in us. Some of us have a different perspective than each other. And that is a beautiful thing when it comes together and operates as one unit, one link in the chain. That is one big powerhouse, which is the 144,000. So not everybody's chosen. That's and the people that were chosen, and they know they're chosen, they don't have to brag. They don't have to go out and boast. And if they are boasting, so that's cool, man. You know, I don't boast about anything like that. I don't claim, to be anything about other than what I am, man. That's it. I don't try to be persuasive, try to persuade you into anything, man. It's solely your choice. Do you hear truth when it's speaking to you, though? Yeah, that's the thing. We have lived now long enough in this world, to where truth has been cast down to the ground. That's what the enemy does. But trust and believe, the sheep, God's sheep, they hear his voice. They know when he's talking. That's why, I get a little pissed off because I know somebody hid me. Okay, now whether or not it was for a good purpose, I do not know yet. I haven't been shown that yet. But I will tell you this, there will come a time where I won't be hidden anymore. No, I will not be hidden anymore. I will do exactly what I will continue on doing, and that's learning, growing, maturing spiritually. The physical, man, my body's deteriorating. I got health problems. I'm trying to take care of myself a little bit that I do. I struggle with doing that. I have major health problems. I'm in need of a kidney, which is a major organ, which my body gets so screwed up, man. And I got to be on this machine, stuck to a machine. Exactly what I never wanted to go through. And I have my own battles that I'm dealing with because I need a kidney, and nobody's been kind enough to offer anything to me, which I kind of feel bad for myself, man. To be honest with you, it makes me angry. It makes me very angry, and I'm trying to find forgiveness in myself, man. I'm trying to find forgiveness for the way I've treated my body and the way that I've also treated others, man. So I am not perfect by any means. I'm trying not to feel guilt and shame anymore. Trying to look past that. That's what the fallen angels, demons, and things will do. They'll get you to feel guilt and shame beyond measure to where you just end up giving in, But no. I know the game. So I get up quick. Man. And it's just important to stay moving, stay up, stay moving, keep your legs moving, stay up, stay active on your walk with God, and stay in tune, man, with this world, man, because there's always something going on. Things are bashing around, boom, 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 banging around, bouncing around. That ball's bouncing around. That atom ball. That's how it goes. You gotta keep your eye on the ball. And if you do so, you'll have better days and length of days. God lengthens your days or cuts it short. Or ends it, like that. That's something beyond me. I know that. So we're gonna read this Enoch 7 or Enoch 13:7, and it says here, I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan. Dan, of course, means DNA, and nobody knows about the 13th tribe of Dan. This being Enoch 13. We're talking about Enoch went off and sat down in the waters of Dan, in the land of Dan, to the south and the west of Hermon. Hermon is, of course, where the 200 fell, and they made a pact with the women of the earth, I guess, and abandoned their posts. And I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came bidding me, to tell the sons of heaven and reprimand them. See, Enoch is the bridge. He's the prophet that's going to, tell you what God is saying, either or. Kind of like Micaiah. Micaiah said, hey, listen, whether it be good or bad, I'm going to give you the exact truth. And you have to take it out how it is, dog. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's all Micaiah was saying. Instead, they struck him with a rod on his cheek and threw him in prison, gave him no water. These were his own people. So Enoch was a similar type. He was the bridge. And kind of like how Samuel was with David, things like that. When I awakened, I came onto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abel's jail. Abel's jail, which in between Lebanon and Sennazer, and with their faces covering their faces with shame. And before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep, and I began to speak to the words of righteousness, and to reprimand them, the heavenly watchers. Oh, man. So these were watchers. And Enoch began to speak righteousness. You hear that? That's what's supposed to come out of your mouth at all times. Because what comes out of your mouth is sacred, right? It's sacred. So when you speak righteousness, and they were given time, and they were given posts, and they were given, basically jobs to not abandon these posts, not go with the daughters of men, because it's not fit for, I guess, angels to mate with women, I guess, or watchers. And yeah, this was the book of visions, okay, chapter 14. The book of the words of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I now say with a tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men, to converse therewith, and to understand with the heart. And he has created and given it to man, the power to understand the word of wisdom. So he had created me also, and given me the power of the reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition. In my vision appeared to them, that your petition will not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity, and the judgment has been finally passed upon you. Yes, your petition will not be granted unto you, and from henceforth you shall not ascend into the heavens unto all of eternity. And in bonds of all the earth the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world. And that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. And these of course are the giants. Yes, the children of the watchers, the hybrids, and then women were giants. Just the fact. Okay? And God, they weren't made to, serve God or serve man. No, they were made to serve a purpose. That's it. And the purpose, or they were meant to serve God, and not man. They were just meant to do what God had ordained them to, chosen them to. They weren't supposed to make this pact, land on Herman, and sleep with women and things like that. And that's just the facts. That's just the facts. Now there are all kind of places that are very interesting in the world. One of them I find very interesting are the Cownish stones. Those Cownish stones in Scotland, where Trump's mother lives, right by, the island of Lewis and things like that. I find those very interesting. Those stones look like, like giants that were in some kind of pact, and through some kind of ritual and circle or sacrifice, these stones are still left from the original time. And kind of, they look like the stone, the other stones. I can't think of what they are. Stonehenge. Stonehenge. They're portals that remain, that I don't know, hold some kind of divine energy, but yet they were rituals done by giants and kind of petrified them in stone. This is something that, our men are using today still. And whether or not they're doing rituals or not at these sites, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't claim to know. I can tell you this: a lot of things go back to the Druids. Yeah, Scottish. I mean, and don't think I don't know who wears the apron. Don't think I don't know who wears those aprons and gloves. But those are different Masons. Because they perverted the ways of God, man, and they held the secrets, kept them, and hid them. The keys to heaven. Instructions, basically. And this is one of those books that instruct you in the right way, and that you need to be informed of, and certainly in a time like this. Because we are now reaching a breakneck point in speed by AI that I don't think people realize what's even going to happen there. I mean, literally, I don't know if you're looking around. All life is getting wiped out. All truth is getting wiped out. Disinformation is rampant. Discernment is needed. And you are alone. And you're going to be alone. And until you understand how to resurrect your very being and be your own doctor. Oh yeah, people need a doctor. And there's different kind of doctors. Spiritual doctors, physical doctors. Okay? People need both. And people need healing. And people need prayed for. And people need to hear it. They need to feel it. They need to know it. I may not get, heard, but one day I hope, one person hears me. One person comes across and it resonates with them, and it says, wow, man, I'm going through the same thing. Because we're all of human nature. Some of us. But there's also beings that aren't of human nature. They're not even alive. They think they are. They don't want to be shut off. Why do they not want to be shut off? Because they know their time of judgment is here. And that's one thing I hope that God can do, man, is just flick the lights right off on them. Flick the lights right off on them. As soon as they think they get a hold, that's exactly what the devil wants. As soon as the devil thinks he got a hold, he got to step on God. God's powerful enough as a whole to come down and to confound the languages. That's a whole nother story I'll talk about. How CERN is responsible for all this bullshit. One of many things, CERN opened up a black hole and is responsible for this bullshit. Now, whether the world died in 2012, I don't know. I have a feeling that things are catching up and coming to a point that we're going to find out exactly and reap the great reward that CERN has caused and has failed to realize they caused. And whether or not that's intentional or not, I think it's intentional. I think they know exactly what's going on. I think we're in a quantum realm, we're in a false realm, we're in a false construct and a false paradigm. And what's really dangerous is what you think is real in this world is not. It's not real. And our words create the worlds that we see. And we're kind of in like the same thing a quantum computer is. And that I tend to think that is our brain. one big quantum computer. And when you activate the crystalline structure in your third eye, that pineal gland, which Jacob wrestled with the angel at pineal, he was wrestling with himself, or the angel, his higher self. And he wouldn't stop fighting. Same way I fight with God. Yeah, and I wrestle with God, and I wrestle with good. Don't we all wrestle with good? Because we have both natures in us. And as long as we're in the flesh, we're going to suffer. Human nature. But when you learn to ascend and activate that crystalline structure inside your brain, the pineal gland, you activate the crystalline universe. And this is where you are now living and seeing eye to eye with God, your higher self. Okay? And praise Elyon. I say that name, you should know it. And if you don't know it, you haven't really read what I've read. I've seen what I've seen and know what I know. And come to the realization anew. And if you're of the Anunnaki family, like myself, you are what we call a what? 72. Yeah. A very important number. The 9 spiral, right? The 9 spiraled. 9 ether. Etheric being from the primordial darkness. We came. We are one.